Hey everybody, hope you're having a great weekend and a lovely fall so far. Today is Sunday, October 16th, 2011. The moon is waning and it was so beautiful right there last night. It was like a big, foggy, shiny, amazing splotch in the sky. But we're not talking about the moon today, we're talking about regrets. The reason is I was tagged by the fabulous Liz. You should all check out her channel. She has two channels. She's awesome. She's queer. She's beautiful, and she's Norwegian. So you have no reason not to check her out. Now, regrets. I want to say some things about regret in general before I talk about things that I regret. Now, I guess I see regrets as lessons in disguise. Okay, so we all feel regret. It's very human. It's very natural, and I think anyone that doesn't feel some sort of regret is they may be an evil person. So don't trust them. I think the destructive elements of regret are when you take a regret so seriously and obsessively that it kind of prevents you from going forward. So if you think about something that you regret it for a reason. It's because you have a feeling about it. Something didn't go right, someone said something to you, someone did something to you, you did something or you didn't do something, lack of action. You know, it's like anything. You can feel regret about anything. And there's a reason why you feel that way. So if you can go past the tough part about, oh God, this happened and God, I can't stop obsessing about it. If you can get past that and see, okay, this is why I feel upset. And so therefore I can learn what to do next time or what not to do next time. Yeah, lessons in disguise. So if you can pick out the lesson and honestly apply it and forgive yourself for whatever happened that caused the regret. Forgiving yourself is one of the hardest things to do in life. If you can do these things, then you're going to be fine. Have a regret, figure out why, forgive yourself, and learn from it. Like, that's the best thing you can do. So, for me, these are things that I have felt regret about, but I don't anymore. And I can share the lessons that I learned and the reasons why I did and don't anymore. So, big thing is, obviously, for some of you will get this, I feel regret for not being born female, for not being born with XX chromosome. I was born with XY chromosomes. And, if I had been born a woman, then my whole childhood and life, my entire life would be different. I wouldn't have been through this transition over the last couple of years. I wouldn't have had some experiences as a child that I did. And I just wouldn't have to worry about my gender. I wouldn't have to think about it. But the thing is, like, I didn't do anything to be born XY. It wasn't my choice. It wasn't in my power. So this is something that feeling regret about, which I think a lot of trans people feel, this kind of regret. It's just there's no there's no fix besides transition. And transition cured me of many feelings of insecurities, self-consciousness that I've had. And so, the lesson here is that I'm actually really proud of who I am. And I'm proud of the things that I have done. I'm proud of the challenges that I've faced in questioning my gender, and the challenges I've overcome by, figuring out who I am and what I am and what makes me happy. So instead of looking at things like, oh my God, my childhood would have been so much better if I had been wearing dresses all the time. It's like, it's not it. It's not how I feel. It's like, I was socialized as a boy. So, I had a little bit of roughhousing, although not very much. Mostly I was getting bullied. But I did have chances to feel like, okay, if I'm gonna be bullied, then today, like, I'm throwing down. Like, I'm not, I think that I saw, people like my sister, I think, and other women get socialized as children to sort of, you know, try to not be a squeaky wheel, try to keep the machine moving well, try to keep people happy, try to not raise a fuss, and be cooperative and be polite. And I didn't get that kind of socialization growing up, and I'm very grateful for it now, because when a guy is rude to me now, I will be brash back. I won't just be like, oh, okay, haha, that's funny that you're saying something sexist to me. It's like, dude, go fuck yourself, get out of my face. And so I feel powerful in asserting myself that way. And I'm not sure that having a female childhood socialized experience would have I know I would have come out differently. And I'm happy with who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. And so no, I don't regret that I was born a boy. I think it makes me more human to have seen the world through the eyes of someone that's both male and female. And the truth is that transition's probably in my genes somehow anyway. Like, if I had been born a girl, I probably would have felt compelled to become a man, be a trans man. So, moving on. There was a period before I started my transition. Well, it was kind of at the very beginning of my transition. I broke up with my fiance, and I was thinking about becoming more feminine, getting women's clothing and taking hormones and growing breasts and growing my hair out and, doing stuff to my eyebrows and getting makeup and lasering my beard completely off. And while these things were still on my mind, like, as in my future, I thought, like, oh, some of these things are permanent. Like, before I do this, like, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be, like, a successful woman. So before I do this, maybe I should just make sure that I don't really want to stay being a man. And I had this idea that I was going to, like, buff up, man up, try even harder to be a heterosexual dude, ladies' man type that I had never really been, just to see if that worked and if I liked that or if I was happy with that. Just the reasoning that I used was, like, some of these things are irreversible, and if I become more masculine, maybe I'll get the chicks, and, like, maybe I'll be happier with my body if I'm more fit, and, like, maybe I can just address these problems that way. Well, the reality is I never took a single step forward on that path. I never bought any creatine. I never went and bought any dumbbells or barbells. I never went to the gym to try to butch up. I pretty much started lasering my beard off pretty soon after this point. And so sometimes I have looked back and been like, I really should have explored that. Because now, like, I see really cute girls that are with guys, and I assume that they're straight, and I like feminine girls. And now that I'm a woman, I basically have closed the door to a lot of potential partners that I'm attracted to, because simply by not being a man, it's not the kind of person they want to be with. Feminine lesbians are, I don't come across them often in my world, and they seem usually taken. So that's a whole nother video, a whole nother subject. The point is, like, yeah, I've felt some pangs of, like, if I had become this hot dude, like, maybe I could have just, like, Anyway, I'm glad I didn't do that, because the lesson is that if that were actually in me, I would have explored that. And it clearly wasn't in me, because it never became more than a thought. It never became more than a thought experiment, even. And if I had gone down that path, then I probably would have masculinized myself in some ways that would have made it even more difficult to feminize myself later. Like, if I had become more muscular, or if I had continued for a while, like, really getting testosterone flowing in my body, I might have lost more of my hair. It's like all these what ifs. Like, to me, what's the point of feeling regret about a what if anyway? You know? And the truth is, like, if I ever want to be more macho, like, drag king, I could just be a drag king sometimes, like, whatever. Um, have fun with it. Like, I'm not afraid of like, I don't have any inhibitions about gender anymore. It's just like I can be whoever I want, whatever I want, and that's awesome. And I'm glad that I didn't try to be this person that ultimately I'm not, because I know it would have failed and it probably would have bit me in the ass anyway. So, the last thing that I want to talk about, I know it's only 3, but I want to talk about living in Denmark and moving to Denmark. I've mentioned this in other videos, but the short story is that I moved to Denmark shortly after my transition began. About 6 months into my transition, I moved to Denmark, and everything slowed down for me. I had a psychologist, a Danish psychologist, who was very not helpful, not supportive about my exploration of gender. I wasn't able to get any hormones through the Danish healthcare system. I really struggled to find a community of people I could connect with. And so the point is, if I had not moved to Denmark, I would have probably started my hormones an entire year earlier than I did. And who knows what else would have gone faster. And so every once in a while I feel like, fuck, why did I move to Denmark? Like, why did I postpone everything like that? But the lesson is, one, I didn't know when I moved over there that it was like this. So I did a minimal amount of research and learned about Christine Jorgensen and assumed that everything was going to be peachy in Denmark. When the truth is, I should have done more research. I should have tried to reach out to actual people living in Denmark today and asked them about their experiences being transgender. And if I had done that, I probably would have learned more about what it's really like there and decided, like, this is probably not a good place for me to go. The other part of this, the other reason that I don't really regret any of this, is that, going over there and challenging myself and, like, walking into all these brick walls in my path, really, it was like, in order to get over these walls, I had to, like, train myself to be able to jump that high. It's like someone tells you that you can't do something, but if you really want it, you're gonna do it anyway. So I transitioned anyway. I did so without the permission or the knowledge of the Danish government. I did so without any support from the healthcare system there. I did have full support from my work and from the friends in Denmark, from my friends here, from my family here. And I really learned that this is something that I really wanted. Like, I wanted to be a woman. And I discovered that I wasn't going to let anybody tell me that I couldn't. And I would not have learned those lessons. And I maybe wouldn't be so self-confident now if I hadn't been through those intense challenges then. So, I hope that this inspires you to sort of think about the things that you regret and, what are the lessons hidden inside those regrets that you can learn from, and how can you make those lessons a part of yourself so you become more powerful, more divine, more full of strength in your own life. And I'm going to leave you with that today. So thank you for your time. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you next time. Bye.